Let me show you guys some real quick. So we're in my room right now. Step out the door. Boom! Car parts. And more car parts stacked on top of car parts. Got some dirty laundry too. Probably why I don't have a girlfriend. That there's the wing for the Mustang. Needs to get fixed because it flew off going down the highway. This here is the rear bumper. Need to get back to work on this, but now we have some okay weather. We'll be getting to that soon. But before we do that, we gotta get to the turn signals. Some nice dishes. Hell yeah. Oh my god! How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. So, oh my gosh, I can't do one thing. So I've been missing in action for a little while now. I left the garage kind of a mess. After I got the engine put back in the Porsche, I still have all those parts on the table I need to get to. I need to get this engine on the engine stand, and I literally I can't just find a spec for the bell housing bolts, and then I found out that maybe you want to mount it on the side. So this is a weird engine. We're gonna talk about that sometime this year. But in the meantime, I wanted to show you guys what I worked on before I left for spring break because I haven't uploaded in a little bit. I was working on stuff. I was trying to get the turn signals finished on the Mustang, and I made some good progress, but it's not done yet. So we have a bit more work to do here, but I'm just gonna go ahead and show that to you guys real quick. I made a quick montage. And in the meantime, I'm gonna get some of this cleaned up because we gotta pull the Mustang in here to get to the next aspect. You'll see. I'll see you guys in a couple minutes. Alright, so what you guys just watched was me developing the first ever turn signal mounting bracket jig thing. So basically, after just tons of trial and error, I figured out that I was just going to need to make a whole new bracket to go on the back of the turn signal. So I drilled a couple holes that are going to line up with the holes on the turn signal itself. So this might not look like much, but it's going to look something like this. So those holes will line up with the mounting holes for this, and this will be bolted to it. kind of like that. And then obviously this is facing up right now, but it'll be rotated like this, and then it'll be on the car. So we still got a little ways to go, but I've already cut out a hole on the bottom of the little crash bar extension on the passenger side. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a little bit of mocking up with this. I might even be able to tack weld it into place, but I need to get the bumper back off and all that great stuff. So we're gonna go ahead and pull the car in a bit and just kind of keep moving forward on this. Also, I need to make one for the driver's side still. So this is literally just the passenger side. And unfortunately, because they're not identical, I'm gonna have to make the other one specific for that side. I can't just copy that one. So it's gonna take a little bit of time, but we're close. I can feel it. Well, that thing is so old that it literally just obliterated itself as soon as I put a screwdriver in it, so... What does that little window washer reservoir think it's doing? Been kind of wanting to remove this thing for a while, but I don't really have a good spot to put it. I was thinking maybe I could relocate it to the trunk or something, but I don't know. It's just an idea. I'd like to keep the window washing mechanism if I can, but at the end of the day, it's not really that big of a deal. Please don't spew everywhere. It's literally just gonna pee out of there. No! I thought this was like a... Okay. I need to find something to catch all this. Stop! Alright, take two. Jeez, dude, how much fluid is in there? I've never once topped this thing off, but it has never run out. I'm pretty convinced that it's an infinite supply of window washer fluid. Okay, I'm gonna go get a new camera battery while this drains, and I'll just update you guys in a second. Okay, this thing has stopped draining now, so I'm gonna kinda... Oh. I don't know why, this thing reminds me of like a goose or something. Now that that's over with, we can finally get a mock-up of this thing. Yes, there we go. So, it's gonna sit somewhere around here, more or less. I'm gonna have to put the turn signal on the bracket and then put the bumper on and hold everything in place so that way I can figure out where it needs to go. But this jig is the exact length and like the exact dimension of the turn signal. So this will tell me where I need to mount this guy, then I can just like tack it in place. I'm hoping that now that I have the wheel and the fender liner and everything out, I can reach in here and tack weld this. I should be able to. So I think I'm gonna start by, how does this go? Like this, yes, okay. So I'm gonna go ahead and put the bolts back into this so that way the turn signal is stuck onto the bracket. And then I think bumper, yes, bumper after that. But first, bolts. I'm really proud of how well this all lined up. I know you guys can't see it right now, but we've got bolts going through our little brackets. So I'll go ahead and tighten these down. I think I'm just gonna leave a lot of this footage raw because like there hasn't really been a plan other than just like trying something new, seeing if it would work. And then when it didn't work, I just stepped it up and it's all led to this. Maybe I should have just started with this. I wish I could have just had the know-how to be like, yep, that's for sure gonna require a jig. Like I really thought that I could mount this on there without doing all of this ridiculous fabrication and stuff. Nope, definitely not. This is 110% required. I left a bit of extra length on this because I wasn't sure how high up it was gonna need to come and I figured it would make more sense to just tack this onto there and then I can like get an exact measurement and cut it off and whatnot. Anyway, let's get the bumper back on. I think that's like exactly what I'm looking for. Maybe? Looks pretty good on camera. That's damn near perfect. I think as long as I just hold it up, I don't even know if you can see that subtle difference on camera, but let me see if I can get this closer. It's like sitting in the exact spot it needs to be. The bracket's just making it lean back, so when I go to tack it, I'll just make sure I hold it up just so that it's right exactly where I want it. And because I pulled the fender liners out and everything, I'll be able to reach it. I gotta tack weld it right There. I know you guys can't really see anything, but you're just gonna have to trust me on this one. I think that's it. Just gotta do the final mount, but it's not a big deal as long as it's tacked on there and the turn signal's attached to it. Hell yeah, brother. Ow. Oh my gosh, this is probably like the weirdest video I've ever made. Like, I'm so sorry about these camera angles. I just don't know how else I can show this to you. It's been a huge pain in the ass. Okay, now that everything is out of the way and this has been tack welded on here, I can finally show you guys what the idea has been this whole time. So I've tack welded this in place. This is that hole that I cut, so that rectangular spot kind of slid into there, and it just had a little bit of height adjustment so I could get it into the right spot. And then this side is a little tall right now. It was actually fitting under the bumper, so I might not have to cut it, but I probably will just to make it look a little nicer. But I just didn't know what height this was going to be at, so I left a little bit of length here. But now I'm going to weld a small piece between this right here and the bar that I put on originally, because it is just tacked, so it's kind of like wiggling. I need to make sure it's solid. But other than that, this is all in the right spot. I think if I wanted to, after I get this piece welded on, I could probably cut that rear little like jig part that I built, but I don't think I need to. I'm just gonna go ahead and leave it for now. If it's ever in the way, I can always take it off, because these two end pieces will be welded to the bar and they'll be perfectly aligned for the turn signal. But yeah, that was exhausting. Took a lot of work, but I'm gonna go ahead and cut a little piece for this, get this finished welded onto here. I think when I do the final welds, I'll go ahead and take the turn signal off of it, just so that way I'm not heating up the plastic and whatnot. So I'll tack it on and then take the turn signal off, weld these seams, and we'll be in pretty good shape. Then of course, we gotta repeat all this on the driver's side. Alright guys, so it's the next day. It's very bright outside. I'm being blinded, but last night my camera died, but you guys didn't miss anything. It died at the perfect moment because I finished welding that bracket on, and then I literally just put the turn signals on, put the wheels and everything back on. So it was nothing that you guys hadn't seen before, but I want to just go ahead and show you guys a final look. I took the tape off of the turn signals, and I'm super happy with how this came out. Sorry, the glare is pretty bad today, but if we get a closer look here, you can see that those turn signals are really flush with the bumper. Obviously the bumper's looking a little rough right now. That's because I screwed it up on purpose to cut the holes out and everything. So we have a lot of body work to do with the bumper to make the bumper fit better against the turn signal. But the turn signals are in their final spot and they're super solid on there. I love how this little crease on the turn signal right here kind of comes right to this little joint where the cutout sort of turns. And I'm definitely going to make sure that I make sure that's super clear when I go and mold the bumper a little bit to kind of fix some of these little wiggly lines and bits that just aren't the best. But the hardest part of just welding all that together and making everything line up is done. And I'm so happy with how that came out. It's gonna look so good. So I was gonna spend the rest of this video wiring them and making the whole mechanism work with the wiring harness, but I decided I'm just gonna make a more in-depth video about that because the most common question I get is like, how did I wire up the turn signals? So for those of you that are already sort of veterans at wiring, you'll have to just bear with me, but I think it'd be really good to just show exactly how to do it. And it's a little bit different when you're wiring an LED turn signal because there's like some resistors that work. So I think I'm going to show some wiring diagrams and just kind of like give you guys a better idea, because wiring is something that like YouTube doesn't always do the best job. There's a lot of like information about electrical fundamentals and like theoretical stuff, but then with wiring stuff there's just like, it's sort of just expected that you'll know what to do. There's not that many great resources. Like there are some, but you got to dig deep. So I'm going to try to just add to the pile of videos and information on the internet. So the next video, everything will be wired up. I'll make a nice wiring harness for them and they'll be able to be unplugged or plugged in, all that good stuff. But that's gonna effectively wrap today's video up. If you like today's video, make sure you leave a like down below. Consider subscribing for more car content, and I'll see you guys next time. Peace.